All right, guys, I'm back with another episode of Talk Soup. About to get into the first episode of Loki from season one. If there is going to be a season two, we don't know, but season one, episode one of Loki, going to talk about it coming up. Okay, so it is obvious I am doing this episode by myself. My usual co-host Kitty is unable to come on with me tonight, so I'm going to do this episode solo. Look, there's a lot to. I mean, it was only about a 51-minute episode, and a lot of it was straightforward. What's up, Elevators? How you doing? It's been a long time, and like I said, it's been a while, obviously, because the last episode of Talk Soup I had was with Falcon and Winter Soldier, so there was a little bit of a lull, but now we're back, and now we're going to be doing our weekly episodes of the Loki show for the next 6 weeks. We have 6 episodes of this series, and then I think the next thing to come out would be next month's Black Widow, but that's part of the movie franchise. But I'm excited. Look, I didn't know what to expect from any of the announced shows that we got a year or two ago. WandaVision came out, and it was absolutely stunning. And it was just, well, more surprising. I won't say the word stunning. It was great, but it was surprising because I really didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did. And I think it just took everybody surprised and everybody loved it. And it was a great conversational piece for the weeks that it was on. I believe it was 10 episodes, I think, or 9 or 10 episodes. So for that 9 or 10 weeks that we got WandaVision, it was such a great, oh, that's my birthday. I didn't even know What If comes out. What If comes on my birthday. I forgot about What If. Look, I'll be honest. What If was probably the one that I wanted to watch, but it's animated, and I know. Look, I know a lot of people love animated stuff. I did try watching the Invincible show on Amazon. I thought it was really good, but I just couldn't watch it. Not because I thought it was bad. I actually enjoyed it. What else was I watching? I watched 4 or 5 episodes of The Bad Batch, the Star Wars Disney Plus series that's animated. I will try to watch What If because I am a Marvel fan. And it is, like you said, if it is landing on August 6th, that happens to be my birthday. So yeah, maybe I'll start watching that series too. I mean, look, Marvel's track record with Disney Plus shows have not been bad. I mean, Loki, I think what I was about to say, Loki's first episode to me was better than the other 2 shows as far as first episodes go. WandaVision was different. It gave us, they were shorter episodes, but at the same time, it was based on TV sitcoms and older sitcoms. Obviously, first episode was set in black and white. So you had the Dick Van Dyke references, the Bewitched references back then, and, all those other shows. So I loved it because I grew up watching those shows. But when you take like the MCU element and just the Marvel feel and the MCU feel, Falcon and Winter Soldier had more MCU feel than WandaVision did, but Loki to me was the best pilot episode. And it's got me looking forward to the next 5 episodes. I really can't wait. And I just think they did such a great job tonally with the show. Some of the music is from the previous movies, but even the music choices they made, there's humor, but there's not too much humor. I think Owen Wilson is going to be a great part of this show. I love the back and forth, and I love the dynamic between him and Tom Hiddleston, especially in that interrogation type of room where we're showing, basically doing a "what this is your life" kind of thing, showing him video footage of his life, and there was just so many cool elements of that show. And like I said, I just can't wait for the following episodes. But we got a couple of teasers. We got and this is on the internet, it's on YouTube. A lot of people are speculating that one of the timekeepers could possibly be Kang the Conqueror. We are supposed to get him in the new in the Ant-Man film, the 3rd film, Quantumania. So I think it would be a cool way to either tease his name or maybe even see him towards the end of the series. I don't know if we're gonna actually see him in action, but that would be cool. To name drop Kang or even see a little bit of Kang. But yes. Loki was the best pilot episode. It explained the most stuff. There's real sadness in it, and it was a greatly timed comedy, and that's exactly, you basically worded what I wanted to say perfectly, and it's the truth. It really is. And it did have sadness to it. I mean, when he watched his mother dying for the first time, because obviously that Loki didn't see or even know his mother died. So you see him watching Frigga die. You see him watching himself die, which you could just see like the what do you call it? Like just the shock in him. It was just cool. It was really cool to watch. Like I said, but the back and forth with him and Owen Wilson, the cool little when he was doing the time skip to the woman, one of the TVA authorities, where he kept looping her to get back at her for punching him. That was pretty cool. I love that. As powerful as the stones are, the Infinity Stones are, they're absolutely useless, as is the Tesseract in the TVA within that world, and it just literally just brings Loki back down and says, all right, well, I guess the TVA are formidable, because if you guys have just Infinity Stones laying around on the desk and people are using these as paperweights, you have to be legit. That was really, that was, I'll get to your previous comment. I know you had another one though too. Yes, that is good. But first he says, well, how do people not know they're a robot? And then, well, what does this thing do? Well, it'll zap you or whatever it says he's going to do. It'll melt him or something like that. And then he's like, well, what if I am a robot? I thought that was pretty cool. And yes, so that judge, who is a Ravonna Renslayer, she is attached to Kang. So I think that's another nod, especially because she was situated literally right in the middle, basically right by where his lips were, of the statue that is meant to, what's speculated to be a representation or a sculpture of Kang, because it looks like Jonathan. It literally looks like Jonathan Majors. So there's no reason why it wouldn't be that. And I think that just makes the most sense, the way they're going to bring that character in. I will admit that when we first saw the teasers for the show and you saw that stained glass mural of the devil, I really thought we were going the route of Mephisto. And, and that's not just me trying to push Mephisto. I know we were all doing it since WandaVision, but I think it's cool that they got that right out. They basically said, the showrunners, the creators, and even Owen Wilson at that point, they're stipulating that is Loki. So that's just a variant or a version of Loki. And that's what we're going to be searching for and hunting down are different variants of Loki. And we also make another thing that's being teased on the internet, and it makes sense, is that we're probably going to get a lady Loki. And that might be the person that's holding the torch or the lantern, and is one that set the fire to the field. So we might not only get variants of Loki, but also Lady Loki, which would be pretty cool. Yes, no, I know I'm not going to do it. Not Mephisto. It's not. But look, on the whole, I thought this was just such a great episode. Like Elevator said, it was just a perfect balance of, not too much humor, but just like I said, the chemistry. And we all knew it was going to be good because of Tom Hiddleston. I think he just plays the role and takes the role of Loki so serious and so well. I mean, not serious to the point where it's too serious, but it's just so balanced. So Tom Hiddleston as an actor is just so good. And like I said, I love the addition of Owen Wilson. Even the guy that plays I can't remember his name, but the one that had the pens in his pocket and had the Tesseract, and he said, "I'm going to gut you like a fish." He's like, "What's a fish?" I thought that was funny. There was a lot of comedic elements to it, but it wasn't overdrawn, it wasn't overdone. Yes. Oh, so Lady Loki's the person in the cape. We also see Kid Loki. Not sure about Demon Loki. We might even see that though too. But yeah, supposedly Kid Loki's coming. Lady Loki's the one in the cape. She's played by, I think, an Italian actress. I can't think of her name right now. But she's basically the one that is rumored to be playing. I'll get her name. It's right here. Sophia Di Martino is the actress that they got that's going to be in this series that is rumored to be playing Lady Loki. So there was that. But look, there was also a couple of Easter eggs that I missed. I didn't miss it, but I wanted to watch other YouTubers and other, I like watching these videos. And if I knew how to edit shit, I'd do it myself. too, and I would make these types of videos. I'm trying to get better and do stuff like that. But that's exactly what I was about to say, dude. You just literally got it right out of me. There was a blink and you miss it thing with the one of the TVAs coming through the portal into the wherever they are, and it looked what looked like Peggy Carter coming out with them. So it was so she's confirmed in the show. She was in Celebration with the first episode. Yeah, well, it makes sense because that literally looked just like her. Now, I don't know if she's being taken. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I loved. And I love that Loki was the one that brought it up because I was thinking the same thing too. So the TVA stepped in because Loki took the Tesseract and transported. Now, I didn't realize that whenever I thought when the Tesseract was used, whether it was used that way or even when Thanos was using that specific stone with the glove, I assumed that it was just being used to teleport from a different part. I didn't take it as being teleporting from one not dimension, what's the word? From one time to another time. I didn't take it as jumping from time to time. So that's what was a little confusing to me. I'm like, wait a minute. So did Loki just teleport somewhere else, or did he break the timeline? Because and then what Loki brought up a perfect example was, well, what about the Avengers? They also broke the timeline. And well, they said, well, that was supposed to happen. But was Captain America? So here's the thing that everybody still doesn't know, because the writers of the Avengers Endgame and the directors of Avengers Endgame had two different answers. I think the Russo brothers said that Captain America was in his own timeline, like his own branch, and the writers said no, or vice versa. But either one, both of them said different answers. So because a lot of people asked, well, if Cap went back in time and stayed with Peggy, didn't he create his own timeline where we didn't have Captain America and he was on ice? The other Captain America was on ice and he was with Peggy. So this begs the question, did Captain America commit a crime against the TVA? And is that why they brought in Peggy? But if they brought in Peggy, why they didn't bring in Cap? So there was a couple of questions that I did have. I don't know if those are loopholes. I'm sure hopefully we'll get answers to that that's the question. Yeah, so that's what I'm asking. Did Cap and Peggy break the timeline? The TVA don't know who broke the timeline until they get there and work it out. So did they take both Steve and Peggy to question them? Or exactly. Or is that what if Peggy? And that's the other thing too. It could be the what if Peggy. A lot of people are speculating that this is going to be their way of showing the difference between Peggy from Agent Carter and like the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and even the Netflix Marvel series. That's their way to kind of retcon them and make them loosely connected but not connected. Because I heard there was a big there were creative differences between Feige and the creator of the Marvel branch of the TV series. So I think they're going out of their way. Look, even like the book, and I'm sorry because I know the show literally just came out, but I can't remember the name of the book that Wanda uses in WandaVision. But even that book was different in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The cover was different. So I think they're doing this. So that might be their way of showing that there is another Peggy Carter in the universe, and that's it. So did Howard Stark go crazy to create a timeline for Peggy to go back and see Steve and it went wrong? I mean, that's a possibility too. That's a pause. Oh, The Darkhold. Thank you. Yes, that's the book I was talking about. So there are differences, and I think that's their way of showing. Because remember, and this episode too, if you remember, they're showing Loki what he did, and then he literally said the Avengers, like you think you got up on them, but you killed Coulson, and what did they do? They literally avenged you and beat you. Now, if Owen Wilson really wanted to get at Loki or get under Loki's skin, he would have brought up the fact that Coulson survived. But because Coulson really didn't survive within the MCU timeline, and that was just an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. thing, I think that cemented the fact that he's dead in this episode of Loki, cements the fact that they are not recognizing any of the TV series from Marvel of Netflix or Fox's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Agent Carter. Then they're not within canon. I would say Agent Carter is connected, but not Agents of Shield. Agent Carter doesn't change anything about the MCU, so they could bring her back. So then that might be the one show that they do. But there are also rumors that Charlie Cox might appear in Spider-Man: No Way From Home, or No Way Back Home. No Way. Oh, Spider-Man. No, it's literally just No Way Home. He's rumored to be in. I heard rumors that Charlie Cox might be in Spider-Man: No Way Home, or even She-Hulk. So I don't know about that. So anyway, I'm rambling. Anyway, so I did not miss the Peggy. I did see that, but I didn't think anything of it. And it wasn't until I watched Things You May Have Missed in Loki did they go a little bit more into detail about that. And then that's when they talked about Agent Carter and Agents of Shield and how they might be doing this to kind of do like almost like a what if, but or a different variant, I should say, of Agent Carter. So these people might be different variants, or they're variants of the characters that we know. But it really does beg the question of whether Steve did create a new branch and timeline. And if that's the case, then how did Old Man Steve come back to ours? So there's a lot of questions I had from Endgame. As much as I love that movie, it did leave me with a couple of questions towards the end. I think in Avengers they kind of confirmed that Coulson isn't dead, where Maria asks about the card and how they weren't in Coulson's jacket. No. No. So that line, basically all that line was, so to add more what's the word? Not drama. What's the word? To add more emotion or more weight to that whole cards thing. Maria knew that those cards were in Coulson's locker. But Fury lied and said that they were in his jacket on his persons, and had put blood on the cards just to add effect and to add more weight and more emotion to the scene. Now, that didn't change whether Coulson was dead or alive. That just changed that Fury lied and said that they were on him when he died. But that, like I said, that was just to add more emotion to that story, just to give them more of an incentive to team up and battle against Loki. But the cards were just in his locker. That line didn't cement whether he was alive or dead. That just changed the location of the cards, and Fury just lied just to get them to unite a little quicker. So anyway, yeah. So a lot to unpack, but really not much to talk about because, as I said, other than Hiddleston's and Owen Wilson's dynamic between the two of them, the possibility of getting Kang at some point in this episode, in the series, getting what do you call it? Female Loki, the child Loki, possibly a demon Loki, which I don't think they're going to do. I think the metaphor of the devil in the stained glass, I don't think, again, not Mephisto and not even like a demon version of Loki, but just another variant of Loki. I want to go really quick and read what you said. The Netflix series happened in the same universe as MCU, but there are many mentions of Thor and Yes, there are. And there are even mentions of, that's the other thing though, too. They even mention in the series on Netflix, the New York event. They constantly brought up the event that happened in New York, which is from the first Avengers movie. So I'm not saying that Netflix series didn't acknowledge the MCU. It's the MCU and Kevin Feige that does not want to acknowledge the TV series. And that's a fact. I didn't know this until I watched a couple of YouTube channels and a couple of YouTube videos to try to see if there was anything I missed on this episode. And I also knew that from watching previous stuff too, as well. But yeah, they, even though they were mentioned, a lot of the Avengers and whatever happened in New York and stuff like that, that was mentioned in the Netflix series, whether it was Daredevil or I think maybe, was it the Defenders? It was one of the other ones, but I know Daredevil definitely did. Even though they were mentioned there, again, from their standpoint, they're within the MCU, but the MCU and Kevin Feige is like, no, I don't want anything to do with you guys because we didn't make you guys. Like, that's not Kevin Feige's baby. If Kevin Feige would have done that and if he would have been part of it, he would have been a little bit more welcome to it, but he didn't. And there was creative differences in that, and he had he had no say in what the president of that division of Marvel, what he did. So it's really late where I am. I'm going to go to sleep now, but enjoy the rest of the stream. I'm going to pretty much head out anyway now, but thank you for coming on. It was really good because I am by myself, so it was cool to have that dialogue with you, as it is always. So probably going to do episode 2 on Sunday, this upcoming well, no, not this upcoming Sunday, obviously, but the following Sunday, because the Loki's being done every Wednesday. So Sunday is just a better day for me and my co-host. So we're going to be doing on Sunday. So I will see you then. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it. But yeah, other than that, guys, look, I'm not going to keep everybody too much longer. What did you guys think of the episode? I think, and from what I've read online and from what I've seen the reviews, this is a pretty highly rated episode. And the consensus seems to be that everybody seems to love it. And I just can't see anything wrong with it. I love it too. So I'm looking forward to episode 2. I can't wait to see what unravels and what unfolds. And what's even more intriguing about this show and all the other shows to come is because how interwoven and how interconnected these shows are supposed to become or are going to become within the movies. So it's just really cool to see what plays out here, because the events from this show may very well be what kind of messes things up for either Spider-Man, in Spider-Man No Way Home with the multiverse, or Doctor Strange 2. So there might be some consequences from the actions of something that happens, or an event that's something that happens in this series. So I can't wait for that. And also too, I want to do a really quick mention of the DB Cooper thing, as a little off-putting as it was, because I really wasn't sure how to grasp that. I was under the impression that 2012 was Loki's first visit to Earth. I know him and Thor. I know they're thousands of years old. I'm not saying that they've never stepped off of Asgard. Obviously not. They've been in other realms. I just didn't know that he was not only on Earth, but like on a bet, hijacking a plane and stealing money. That's the only thing that kind of took me back. I remember from the trailers that they were teasing that he was DB Cooper. It wasn't mentioned, but it was pretty much teased that he was playing DB Cooper. So I thought it would have been cool that, because he had the Tesseract, he was jumping from different times and playing different characters. That's what I took from the trailer way back when we watched it. So to see it come to light in that pretense, in that storyline where he came to Earth on a bet, I probably could have done without that. But other than that, I thought the episode was solid. Definitely my favorite of the MCU Disney Plus series so far. And as I said, I can't wait for episode 2. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Talk Soup. Please leave a like. Well, smash that like button if you can. Also, guys, subscribe if you haven't subscribed to the channel already. Actually, I'm about to do, for any horror fans, coming up at 7 o'clock. Obviously, this is live. So if you're watching this taped, it's already up on my channel. But at 7 o'clock, I'm going to be doing a spoiler review for the new Conjuring movie. So I got that coming up. Obviously, weekly, going to be doing the Loki episodes and anything else that comes up. So if you're a fan of this stuff, and you want to watch something that pertains to things like this, please give a follow, subscribe. That way you can come and catch all of my streams. So with that being said, guys, enjoy your day, and I will see you next week when I do a spoiler review for episode 2. All right, guys, take care.